Hello, guys, and welcome to episode 15 of the I Do Wedding Marketing Podcast. 15, that's like half a month. That's pretty darn exciting. So, thank you for being here. My name is Nina Adio, and I'd like to thank you for allowing this podcast into your earbuds, your Bluetooth, your car radio, wherever you are listening from. On the I Do Wedding Marketing Podcast, I discuss tips and tricks for wedding pros to DIY their social media or to gain the confidence to outsource it. Today in the podcast, I'm doing something that I have never done before. I know in all of 14 other episodes, I haven't done this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the audio from one of the Instagram lives that I did. And what happens on this live, other than the usual, talking that I do, is that you can see a relationship develop right there on the live. So from taking 20 minutes out of my week on an Instagram live, you can see how in real time that develops and translates into a relationship. On this Instagram live, I also talk about consistency and what that means for each individual person. So it doesn't mean being consistent on everything. I'm talking about how can you pick one thing to be consistent on to have it convert in your business. We talk about engagement season versus booking season. And then we talk about the benefits of going live and how to prepare. Those are just some of the things that come up. It's about a 20-minute long live, and I'm not really going to splice it and dice it. I'm just putting it up there as it was. So you're going to see me mentioning people's names in the lives. You're going to see me engaging with them, talking with them, asking them what they're drinking. When you do that, people then start to respond and they start to type. So then I, repeat it back. And it was a way to get people engaged and talking to me. So I'm going to go straight into the live, and then I'll just be back with a quick outro. You're now live. We are live, guys. Happy Wedding Wednesday. We're going to be doing, if you have questions, you can start to ask your questions. If not, I have some topics that have come up in messages and whatnot. I'm just going to wait for some people to come in and then probably repeat everything I just said. So, hi, Marie. Thanks for popping in. I always appreciate that. I got my coffee. I did not dress up for the occasion, but I did here. Like I did, I put on the makeup and stuff. So I think that's a win, especially because Instagram is like, head up. So I'm just going to wait a bit. I won't wait too long, just so this way people watching on the replay don't feel like they have to just like sit and wait for the past Nina to, catch up. So for replay purposes, we will get started. So what I wanted to talk about today was, I have a whole formula to my social media business for wedding professionals. That's what makes I Do Wedding Marketing special, is the formula. But not everybody is A, ready to outsource, or B, has the time to do everything. So if you were to focus on, one thing, what would that be? So that's what I've been trying to really think about for today's conversation. And I will probably either upload this live or record separately a podcast episode for it later. But, so what I want to talk about is, hi, Matt, thanks for coming in. We're talking about the one thing I think out of, what I Do Wedding Marketing does and the formula we provide, what, if you had to do it yourself, what's one thing to focus on? So I think that is going to be consistency. And you have to pick what part of that you can do. Hi, Champagne Walls. Oh, Champagne Walls. Guys, if you want trends that should stick around forever, it's a champagne wall. So just gonna say it. Those are so cool. So we're talking about the one thing, if you're DIYing your social media and you can't focus on everything, what you should focus on. And for me, it's consistency. Rather than doing picture perfect, posts with huge hashtags and targeted captions and everything else, I would rather you be able to pick what it is you can do and what you're good at and do it consistently. Because doing, one post a quarter isn't going to be great. It's not going to help like you need it to. But if you're able to either post consistently
or engage consistently, or, you decide what that strategy for you is going to be, what the one thing you prefer to do on social media is, and do it consistently. And that can be as little as 10 minutes a day. If you do engagement 10 minutes a day, it's going to make a difference. If you work on your posting at 10 minutes a day, that's going to make a difference. And that can be stories. Posting consistent on social media could be in whatever way they come about. So on Instagram here, this is Instagram Lives. You could go live for 10 minutes once a week, and that's going to make a difference. You could do stories and spend your 10 minutes a day, some days focusing on stories, some days focusing on posts, sharing your post and making it a really nice looking story. You could spend that time working on reels, but just picking something that you can consistently do. If it was engagement, then you're spending that time figuring out where your audience is, where to engage with them, how to engage with them, etc. Hi, Lauren, and hi, Magda. Thanks for coming in. If you have any questions about social media, weddings, etc., ask them, and I'm here to answer them. Right now, we're talking about consistency, but we did get a question, and it's about how, the pandemic has kind of changed the seasons. Thank you, Velasco. Thank you. How the pandemic has changed a bit of the wedding seasons, and it has. So I'll talk from a venue perspective of what they've been seeing. And the engagement season, you're still getting newly engaged couples at engagement seasons. So engagement seasons have not changed. That's still, we still have some time left for that. Maybe I'll talk about that later, what we can do in these last few days before Valentine's Day. And if you have questions about that, like I said, ask your questions and I'll answer them. But back to Matt's question, engagement season is still the same, but he is right that wedding season is different. But, okay, it's still, from the venue perspective, they're still not seeing as many winter weddings. They're still having winter dates open for 2023. So it's pivoting their target. So in our marketing, we're really focusing on having winter wedding packages and pushing those winter wedding dates, because they're not all booked up. Maybe Saturdays, but you still have your Fridays and your Sundays. Then what's happening during typical wedding season, which I'm going to say nowadays, because of global warming for me, is that it is May through October. It's wedding season for you. You're getting more Thursdays. You're getting those Fridays booked. You're seeing Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's the trending times are still trending. Saturday night is still big, and, Friday night is still the next best after that. But you're getting more people who are considering Thursdays because they don't want to wait. But what Velasco is seeing, and if you want, let me know what your wedding profession is, but they're seeing that some people are holding off. So she's right. People are still getting engaged, from Thanksgiving to Valentine's Day, but their booking process, hi Elise, hi Gabriella, their booking process is different. Hi Allie, thanks for coming in. So typically, after you get engaged, you would very quickly start seeing venues, and you'd book the venue in church, first. You'd book your reception and ceremony, whether it's at two different places or the same, and then you would book everybody else. And now we're seeing two different things happen. We're seeing couples who are thinking scarcity, and they're worried that if they don't book now, they're not going to get it, and they're going right away. They may even be doing shorter term engagements and just wanting to move. And you're getting the ones who are booking further out. A wedding filmmaker, that's great. And what's great about what you do is, and that is one of the roles that I see booked last minute, and I'm wondering if you see it too. So your season is so different than everybody else. So for certain wedding professions, I'm talking videographers, cinematographers, filmmakers, photo booths, those are the last minute additions. They're not always booked out right away. So what you're probably seeing, or you may see, is that, people get engaged in December, let's say. Then they're going to book their venue, within this winter season. And then it's going to trickle to, if their wedding is 2 years out, it could be another 18 months before they contact a videographer, because sometimes if they're not bundling it in with their photography, they're realizing last minute, oh, I think I need this, I want to add this. So he says 80% of recent clients in the past year have changed their wedding day at least 2 times. Where are you located? I'm wondering how the trends are where you are. Yeah, the big venue clothing decoration. And so when you're one of those other vendors, like we had a champagne wall come in here, you're almost, it's like you're always in season, because you could be booked at any time. Or really, if the high traffic wedding season in your area is June through October, then, okay, so New Jersey, I'm in Long Island, so it's very similar. So really, I would start hitting hard in April and getting people who are going to be doing those last minute bookings, if that's what you even want, because maybe you don't want dates so short. And if you don't, then you gotta respectfully push the scarcity, which is that dates are changing, and I have prior commitments to those couples, so you want to reserve your dates before I lose them. You want to push that. I'm here with my couples, and I want to get you on the book so I can, service your wedding. And I always say respectfully, use scarcity, because I don't believe in scare tactics. I'm not saying, and I don't recommend when people, so brides get turned off, when a photographer or any vendor will message them back saying, hey, I'm here with somebody else who wants your date, because realistically, are they going to do that on a sales call? No. So they know they're full of it, so you just want to say it's, that whoever gives it, it's first come, first serve for all my dates. And, I'm able to hold it for you as long as that's possible. But the only way to guarantee it is to, get the ball rolling. And you want to say that with this unfortunate season we've been in, we're seeing availability really change. It's changing in terms of what we booked now has taken up, our 2021 dates are still infiltrating our 2022 and 2023 dates. So I don't have the same full calendar of availability at the year start, because last year's weddings are still happening this year and next year. So you want to stress to people how important it is to book ahead of time, even for something that may be what somebody books last minute. But what I love about the fact that it's last minute is from, just an entrepreneur standpoint. If I was looking at my calendar and I was like, oh man, next quarter I have some open dates, I know I can still fill them. And that's what, makes me excited about it and giddy. A whiplash effect. That's definitely a great way to put it. I'm going to pause for a sip of coffee. If anyone has more questions, or if you want to ask more about what we've been talking about, please do. And if anyone else is enjoying a beverage of some sort, be sure to let me know what it is. Because even just my cup of coffee, I'd love to live through other cups of coffee, because that's how much I like coffee. So, everything is kind of with what, we've been talking about, of how it's not that engagement season is different, it's that booking season is different, and it's going to be for a while. And another way this affects us is we don't have accurate numbers to look back on to see, giving off sparks, having iced tea, that's my favorite. We don't have accurate numbers to look back on for the past 2 years to determine where we should be now. So I'm based in Long Island, New York, doing social media marketing, but I do it nationally. So I have clients in Long Island, I have clients in, New Orleans and Detroit. So we're national. And the booking, what's frustrating with that is it means you can't go back to 2021 and see what you had booked out now. and as a reflection of what you have booked for 2022 and 2023. Same thing with 2020. So you're going back to 2019. And is that going to be accurate for you? So we're seeing new trends, and we don't really have accurate data from the past to look on when it comes to booking. I'm glad you follow too. I'm live here every Wednesday, and then I do a podcast episode about, kind of what came up on Wednesdays too. So I'm always around. And my brother, Matt, that's my brother, everybody, he's having a Taco Bell Pepsi, which is like the best, I don't know, sometimes they just really hit the spot. Thanks for coming in, Tommy J. Yeah, that's my husband. So I make it a family affair, so this way I can always have some numbers in. But we don't have those numbers to go back on, so I'm going to be saving it, and then it's going to be on my feed or in the IG lives, and I have all the past ones too. So this is where I just kind of just go off the cuff and speak about everything. Yet the calendar availability is limited due to 2020 and 2021, right? Because you still had people getting engaged in 2020 and in 2021. And both people from those 2 years, 80%, like he was saying, rescheduled. So it's just it is a lot, but some people still would rather wait 2 years to have a Saturday night. Some just say, screw it. And they had a smaller wedding at a restaurant. Some did both. Some had the smaller wedding, and they're still going to have the bigger wedding. So the trends are totally different, and the data sounds smarter when I say data instead of data. The data is totally different, or does it? Let me know what you think. But you can't look back to what you had booked in prior years. And just when you're totally booked out, let's say if you're totally booked out for 2022 because of the pandemic, that may not be an accurate reflection next year. You still have to focus on your marketing. You still have to focus on your strategy, which goes back to what I was saying before about consistency. So, not all vendors made it through this pandemic. They may have pivoted, they may have stopped their business. It could be a whole world of possibility. Even outside of a pandemic, people go out of business for a reason of their own, or for, whatever reason that may be. And especially now, though, you want to remind people that you are in business, that you're available, that you're working, that you're here for them. And that's why being consistent on social media, even if you're not comfortable doing feed posts that are going to stay forever unless they're perfect, do some stories. Share some of your past reviews on stories. I don't care how old they are. Share stuff on your stories. Consider doing a live, and what you can do is you can kind of make the live like a town hall. So let's say every inquiry you've gotten in the past 2 months, you can let them know you're going to be going live on Instagram to do a Q&A and answer any questions people have about the booking process. So let's use a videographer. People may want to know, how soon do I need to book you? Why do you recommend booking so early? What's, how much coverage do I need? Should I just get a trailer? What's the difference between getting a trailer and getting the extensive footage, etc.? And you can talk about all these things on the live, and you can have it in your email signature, the date it's going to be. You can ask for their Instagram to connect, whatever it is, and then you go live. And then if you don't have a lot of people, do what I did here. Okay, when I opened up, I kept mentioning the replay. So this way it's the numbers don't matter. This is existing after this too. And you ask some people to come in to support you, so you always have 1 to 2 people in. So you notice I'll be mentioning a sibling here and there. It's because they are very kind and they come in. And this helps with stage fright. If you're nervous about talking, now I'm just talking to them. And that makes it a lot easier. So if you're nervous about doing the Q&A, that can help it, or going live. And then the last thing what going live is going to do is it's going to put the face to your brand. It's going to make people comfortable with you, because you're spending their most important day with them for the entire day. Hello, Adriana, thanks for coming in. So you're spending their entire wedding day with them. And that's a special day. And so if they start to see you face to face and get that connection with you, they're going to want you there, and they're going to think of you. Even if they're not ready to book now, you're already putting in the steps for when they are ready to book. And by you posting consistently when they're ready, you're going to come up on their feed, and then they're going to go, oh yeah. So yes, Spectral Wind, guys, has been going live a lot, and I'm really in, some of the people in here know that I'm really into mindset, manifestation, healing, your human design chart. So Lauren, giving off sparks, you should follow Spectral Wind 102, because she has a lot of stuff. I think you should look into your human design chart, but that's neither here nor there. But she says from experience, engagement has been up since she started going live. And Lauren says they'll be more comfortable as they get to know you better through it. Exactly. So, for example, by my going live, somebody who I'd never had connected with before got to learn more about me and what I do. So that was like a huge win for me. And this, benefits me as well, because now I'm getting intel of what people need to know, what I need to focus on, what I can discuss on the podcast, etc. So it's all really exciting things. And so my goal for the lives, I don't know what Spectral's been doing, but is to make sure I go live at least 20 minutes, because sometimes I get nervous, and if people don't come in, then I just leave. So we made it for the 20, which is awesome, but I'm going to stick around in case any more questions come up or conversations, and I'm going to have a sip of my beverage. Matt, I hope you have a sip of your Pepsi. Elise, I hope you have a sip of your hot tea. Lauren, your iced tea. So with Valentine's Day coming, that's kind of like the last boost of people in mass getting engaged. You get engagements all year round, but in mass, it can happen between December and February. She says the more she goes live, the more comfortable she gets. So true. And it will help you as other people want to have you on podcasts or have you come on lives too. It will just expand. Even though Valentine's Day is Monday and it may feel like it already passed, if you're targeting people who are engaged, they're not getting engaged Valentine's Day and booking Valentine's Day, right? You still have time to put out your messaging for what you want engaged people to know. Thanks for coming on, Lauren. So don't say, all right, I already missed engagement season, it's over. Because what we talked about a lot today was that engagement season is still there, but booking season is totally different. So you still have the control and the time to put out your messaging and to take advantage of this audience of newly engaged people or people who are ready to start booking things, because there's going to be, like we said, there are the people who are going to want to book everything right away to make sure they have their date done, and there are people who want to feel out what the state of the world is and are going to be taking their time. So I'm going to try to see if I can save and upload this video to the podcast. If not, I will just reiterate some of these messages. Thank you for everybody who came on. It really means a lot to me. And be sure to, if you missed getting to ask a question, just send me a message anytime. And thank you so much, guys. I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Hopefully you guys got a lot of value from that. I know some of the text that was being typed into the live was that it was a lot of value and it felt really great. You saw how I got to really hone in on one person and what it was they were doing. They were a videographer. So if you come on these lives, I do them every Wednesday at 12. And it gives me inspiration for the podcast. I mean, today it gave me direct content for it. That's why the podcast is a day late. So sorry about that. And it's just a great way for you to connect with your audience and get to know them better, and for you to connect with your craft. Sometimes it's just me on there talking to myself and the two people who are nice enough to come on, whether it's my sister or my friend, they're always on. So sometimes nobody else can come on, and that's okay. I can repurpose what I've done and use it for a podcast or for a blog post, or it might just get my juices going. So it's never a loss when you go live. If you enjoyed what I had to say here today, please consider leaving an Apple Podcast review, as it means a lot to me and it helps more wedding professionals find this podcast. Lately, a lot of my friends, I have friends who represent other businesses, and they've been saying, even though they don't do weddings, that they've been getting inspired by hearing some of the tips and tricks and just the way we discuss business. So you can pass it along to anybody else too, and that would mean a lot to me. New episodes of the I Do Wedding Marketing podcast are dropping every Wednesday right now, or today, Thursday. Sorry about that. And I am also on my live every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern at I Do Wedding Marketing. Why does everything happen on Wednesdays? Because it's Wedding Wednesday. You can learn more about my services and inquire about working together at www.idoweddingmarketing.com. Thank you for being here, guys, and until next week.